We did it. Our backs were against the wall, and we beat the Chiefs at home as underdogs, 28-21. What did you think?
I got a fever, and the only prescription is more Joey Bosa.
Patrick Newell and Peg Newell, your hosts of Bill's
Bloodline. Welcome to Bill's Bloodline. I'm Peg Newell, and this is my brother Patrick Newell. Please like, subscribe, share, send us some feedback. For those of you who are new to the podcast, a little bit about us. I'm a teacher. I've been a teacher for 25 years in Central New York. I'm a wife, a mother, a professional musician, and now we'll add content creator.
And I'm Patrick Newell. I was a 20-year veteran of sports writing in the Central New York area. I moved out here with my wife. I'm an empty nester now, so I have a lot more time to obsess over my Buffalo Bills. Yeah, I mean, a lot happened since last week, and we'll get to the game, but Peg, let's go over some of the stuff that happened since the last time we spoke.
Sure. There's a lot in the news. I saw that they signed Poyer and Phillips came up from the practice squad, and now they're officially on the active roster.
Yeah, and they're revisiting us like it's an all-star like reunion of former Bills players coming back. I mean, we only have about 2 or 3 more players left in the league that can come back. They're still out there somewhere. So if they're out there and they're ready to be signed, I think we will sign them again. So,
and some might be eligible for their AARP card, but you know.
Yeah, I know. I think Jordan Phillips has come back more time than Muhammad Ali came back, from retirement. So
more times than Kathy Bates in Misery.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh man, and then also I think they re-upped with St. John Fisher, but I think you know more about that. What's going on with St. John Fisher?
Yeah, so they re-signed their contract, their practice facility. The Bills are kind of unique in that they go away for camp and preseason, and I think that's what creates that family atmosphere over in Buffalo. And that's kind of like the ideal of the Buffalo culture anyway. And their family as a team, the Bills Mafia is one big extended family, and just like we are a little small family unit right here on this podcast.
Yeah. And what was so great about this Chiefs game, Pat, was that, our sister was texting us during the game and, was just upset with some of the play calling toward the end there. Became a nail biter when maybe it shouldn't have become that. And then, of course, Mom was in touch with me via another social app. So now we just need to get Kate on board, our other sister, texting us during the game. It's a family affair for sure.
Yeah, it is. And, I have one more thing of note is Ed Oliver. He looks like he is going to be out at least 3 months. I don't know if you remember last year, Milano tore his bicep in the preseason, and he was out. I don't know. He was out till like the 13th week of the season. So if we make, say, deep playoff runs, conference finals, Super Bowl, you might be able to see Ed Oliver. Doesn't look good right there. And I expect some more news coming from Michael Hoyt. So what do you think about that? Didn't look good.
No, it did not look good. We just got him, and he was making such an impact, and it looks like we're probably going to lose him for the foreseeable future. He couldn't walk off under his own power, which is not a good sign, because usually players they're the toughest of the tough, and they will walk off. Like, they can have a bloody stump, and a lot of players will walk off, but he needed help. And what I like about Hoyt is that he didn't leave the field. He didn't go into the locker room. He wanted to stay with the team. Speaking of family, right? That culture there is like no other. So, gosh, I'm going to pray tonight that the injury isn't as severe, but I've got to.
He is just one of those classic all-in football guys. He's not gonna leave. He needs to sit. He wanted to stay the rest of the way. See his team win. He should have gone back already. He should have already been en route to the hospital if it was as bad as we thought it was, because the dreaded Achilles, I am just hoping is not an Achilles. Because if that's the case, he's done. If it's just a calf strain or ankle sprain, okay, we'll see him back in a few weeks. That's what I hope for.
Yeah. Yeah, long recovery. So it's so unfortunate. So we'll say a prayer, Bills Mafia, for Michael Hoyt, but boy, what an impact player. Speaking of impact players, oh my goodness, did you have a favorite moment from the game, or favorite series, or favorite plays, Pat? There's so many. I can't whittle it down to just one.
My favorite moment of the game was when it ticked to 0-0-0 and the pass fell incomplete on that last pass. That was ultimately my favorite, but there was a lot that happened before that, a lot of things to create nail-biting moments overall. I mean, I'm not a nail biter, but if I was, I would not have any nails left.
For sure, for sure. I think that I got that horrible feeling when the first play of the game it ended up in a penalty. We had a decent return on special teams, then it got called back because of a penalty, and it was Dorian Williams, actually, number 42. Dorian Williams held on that, and I just was like, oh no, is this going to set the tone? But one of the things that really, really surprised me is that the officials kept the flags in their pockets for the most part throughout the entire game. It was a very clean game for the Bills, who have historically, especially this year, beaten themselves up with multiple penalties, losing opportunities.
I was tracking them early, and within the first, 7 or 8 minutes, we had 3 penalties for 30 yards, and I think we only ended up with 4 charged penalties for the game. I mean, the referees set the tone early with some early penalties. And if you think about it, there were some penalties that weren't taken because, we declined them on a 4th down and then forced a 4th down pass, or we got a sack, so we didn't have to take the penalty. So there's a lot of untaken penalties there that could have been charged to the Chiefs. I'm not sure that they had the same benefit on our side. So I felt like we were on track for another 10 penalty game, but then all of a sudden they stopped.
Right. What I really liked was to just that first drive, right, to set the tone. And how can you not love that? And the play that frustrates me is the play that gives me so much joy when it works, but it seems like it's getting a little bit predictable. But it's that pass to the flat to Khalil Shakir, which they switched up with Kincaid and maybe Knox, Ray Davis, maybe a few times. It seemed like everybody was eating and it wasn't cold porridge today. But when it worked, and they were able to go to that well a few times. But one of my hot takes from the game was that I think Brady, McDermott had some plays in their pocket that they hadn't shown. There were several plays I hadn't seen yet. I love that they were moving Josh around to try to offset the pressure, but they were able to get a little bit more of a dynamic passing game today.
News of the demise of the Bills' passing game was greatly exaggerated. Or, yeah,
thank you, Mark Twain.
Yes.
The English teacher's
I totally
heart
hacked
is...
that up. I just totally butchered that quote, but but that's the general thought about the Bills' passing game. Had struggled against the Patriots. It struggled against the Falcons. We blew out Carolina, and James Cook ran for 216 yards. Oh yeah, we won 40-9. But everyone wanted to get to the fact that our passing game looks broken. He threw for like 150 yards. Hey, we won 40-9. Who cares? Does anyone remember? I think it was 2 years ago. Josh completed just 7 passes against the Cowboys, but we ran for like 280 yards and 131-10. No one cared. He was 7 for 15 and completed for 94 yards. This last game where he had only completed 12 of 19 for maybe 163 yards. And we thought that it was broken, but look what happened. We came right back.
Dialed in.
He was dialed in, and when he needs it, he can do it. And I think the key there today is we use the tight ends today. Our tight ends are a huge advantage.
Yeah, huge catch by Dawson Knox, and of course, Kincaid. If I had one word to describe today, it was like arrival. Like that's the Kincaid we drafted, and Hairston as well. Going to the defensive side, the rookie is so happy he got his first interception of his career. I love that kid. The upside is so great with him. He's dynamic. Truly complimentary football was played.
Did you see him running stride for stride with Xavier Worthy, the fastest man in the NFL?
I did.
Yeah. So does that mean he ran a 4.21 and our guy Hairston ran a 4.29? But when you're talking in the 4.2s, does it really matter by the hundreds?
I know.
They're wicked. They're wicked fast.
Yes, wicked fast.
We're not going to stop the Chiefs with all that dynamic offensive firepower. We're not going to
No,
slow them down
no.
all the way. They hit a few long passes. They had a couple long ones, one to Rashee Rice on a 4th and 17. That might be my least favorite play of the game because
Yeah, that
how
was
do you give
it
up a
was like
4th
a
and 17? He was wide open
blown
too.
coverage. There was some confusing. There was a lot of finger pointing. I didn't like to see that in the secondary today. I saw Bernard, doing the hands, like looking at people like, what happened? You missed your assignment, or maybe it was his fault. I'm not sure, but it's kind of one of those things where you can't stop them. You can only hope to contain them. And I think my biggest take on the defense today is that because of the pressure we were able to put on Mahomes, because our line was just incendiary today, because of that pressure, it allowed us to sort of mask some of the issues that we have in the secondary, but still people stepped up and played really well. They're going to get those passes, so you just have to try to just match them on offense and then hope for the big plays, which I counted Hairston had like 3 really great plays today. Where he deflected the ball. Cole Bishop
had
also
unreal. He's coming alive. It just seemed like he seemed like he was an adequate player, and he moved from adequate to outstanding in one game. He made so many breakups. He hit Kelsey in the ribs. Kelsey had to go back to the locker room at halftime to get checked out.
Yeah,
of course, he's like taunting the crowd. They bring it on the way out. So at halftime. But anyway, that he was a presence today, and I felt him. Speaking of I felt Joey. Like I said in the opening, Joey Bosa was unreal today.
Phenomenal. I love him. It's like stay healthy. He and of course Hoyt before he went out, also putting a lot of pressure on Mahomes.
So Peg, we were talking before we got started that we needed this game desperately, because if we had dropped another game, the Patriots won today 24-23 over the Falcons. So, and they have the leg up with the win over us earlier, so they have the tiebreaker. So we couldn't fall behind 2 games on them and then find ourselves fighting for a wild card spot. So this puts us back in the mix. I know you were worried about this coming in. So what do you have to say now?
I was worried about it. It was a must win to me. It was a must win. Last week on the pod, we talked about how this cannot be their Super Bowl. And it just seems like every single time we match up against them, it ends up being probably one of the best games, some even better than some Super Bowls in the past, the matchup during the regular season. And although we didn't want it to be their Super Bowl, and they looked like they were pretty subdued when they were celebrating at the end a little bit, because they know, as Josh said in his post-game interview, we're 1-0. He does. A little bit predictable there, but we had to win, at the risk of being a little histrionic. We lose this game and we might not even be in the wild card position. So every game matters from here on out. And, I just really want to get that home field advantage. And I pray that we don't see KC again, Kansas City.
Well, before I was thinking about this too, and I was watching John Gruden yesterday. I couldn't watch the whole thing. I can only take Gruden in smaller doses, maybe 20 minutes at a time. But he did throw out a couple interesting things in this preview. And I don't know if you knew this, but the Bills have been home underdogs since COVID 5 times. And do you know how many games they've won of those 5 where they were an underdog?
Let's say 3 games?
They're 5-0. We have never lost a game as a home underdog in this decade. It doesn't happen that much, obviously. We've only been a home underdog 5 times. This is the 6th season of the decade.
Really?
So it doesn't happen much. Yeah. But, and also, this rivalry is so close. I don't care what Chiefs fans say. Yes, they've got us in the playoffs. But if you add up the 10 games now, the 10 total games, the total points for, the total points against, we have outscored them by a total now with today's victory by 6 total points in 10 games. That's all that separates us through 10 games and 5 different seasons of games, regular season and postseason. And with the exception of a couple games, they've all come down.
Yeah. Very exciting. I did not know that statistic.
No, Gruden comes up with some nuggets sometimes. So once you get past it, hey man,
I would trade all of those for one Super Bowl. And I might
Absolutely.
I would trade my pinky toe for a Super Bowl. Bill's Mafia out there and Bill's Bloodline fans, if you are listening, Pat and I have a pact that if the Bills win a Super Bowl, we're going to get matching tattoos. So, something for you to root for.
Yeah, and if we do that, we might actually do an off-season podcast to, record our mutual tattoos from afar. So speaking of that tattoo, so I was at the gym a couple of days ago, and I was just walking through, and this guy raises his forearm, and he was at the end treadmill, and he raises, and I see a Bills tattoo. It goes, "Go Bills!" I'm like, I see that, I go, dude, I do not have a tattoo, and I had no plans of ever getting a tattoo unless the Bills win a Super Bowl. So that will be my one and only tattoo if I ever get one. I haven't figured out what I'm going to put on. Is it going to be the solitary red buffalo, or is it going to be more of the new age design? So we'll see. Peg and I will figure that out, if it ever happens.
Problem to have.
It's a good problem to have. If they win a Super Bowl, I will, die and go to heaven happy.
Yeah. So this morning, speaking of the tattoo at the gym, I was at Wegmans, and of course, Pat's out in New Mexico, but I'm a Central New Yorker, and Western New Yorkers, Wegmans, and I was like plowing through Wegmans today. Everybody was shopping on Sunday, but everyone was in their Bills gear. And now thinking back on it, made me think of my favorite player of the game is Reggie Gilliam, because he was just plowing through the line, making way for James Cook, plowing like a bulldozer through the east wing of the White House. And he's an unsung hero, and he's a rock star on special teams as well.
Up special teams, although I will say, and when we do our grades, I was not 100% pleased with special teams today. So when we finish our recap here, we'll give our grades on the offense, the defense, and the special teams. So I do have like a slight bit of disappointment with the special teams. So
today.
But thinking about it now, Peg, is that the Chiefs are now out of the playoff mix. Because the Jaguars won today. They flip-flopped. They were one spot ahead of the Jaguars, who were in 8th. Jaguars won today. Chiefs lost. So they flipped. The Chiefs are currently, through midway point of the season, not in the playoffs. So how does that feel?
Same with Baltimore. It feels great. Yeah, it feels great. It's a natural high. Baltimore, is Baltimore out at this point as well?
Baltimore is only 3-5, but they've won 2 in a row. They seem to be back on track. Although Pittsburgh won today, they knocked out the Colts, so the Colts are coming back to the pack a little bit. So you got to be happy about that. So it's tightening up. The Broncos, the Patriots, and the Colts are all tied at 7-2. The Bills are a half game back at 6-2, but tied in the loss column, obviously. So we are right there. We just need someone to knock off those dang Patriots.
I know. God, again, it's like Kathy Bates in Misery. They keep coming back. They had their down years, and now they've got Drake May. Yeah. And I'm sad that I don't have him for my fantasy QB. But no,
he's good.
He's really good.
Speaking of fantasy, we have to throw in our sorrows. So I am playing against our sister Kate, who didn't even touch her lineup for the last 2 weeks. But of course, she has Caleb Williams and Drake London today, who both scored nearly 40 points. So by themselves, they nearly beat me. Just those 2 players. So no one cares about your fantasy team, but I am going to complain because this is my podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a family affair. So when I think about the offense today in terms of grading them, I'm going to give the offense an A today. I have no objectivity. That's it. That's all I have to say. I gave them an A. Spread the ball around, no fumbles. They protected the ball security. Josh was able to throw the ball away a few times. A couple times he held on too long, but I'm okay. I'm willing to forgive that. So I give them an A today. Again, no objectivity, Bills fans out there. I'm gonna give the defense an A as well today. Everyone on ESPN was saying they're for real. They are for real, is one word, contenders for the Super Bowl. And now maybe not so much with the Kansas City Chiefs. Pat, what do you think? in terms of grading.
With the offense, and I'd have to double check this, but I heard before they logged off the broadcast today that Josh Allen set a team record for completion percentage in a game, 23 for 26. Doing my math, I know that's between 85 and 87%. So that was amazingly, he was amazingly efficient. Given he does throw about 6 or 7 of those quick screens to the right. They were an A until the last drive of the game when they ran it 3 times into the line and had to try a field goal, missed the field goal, and gave Kansas City at least one last shot. So that dropped their grade. They were late on an assignment, Peg. So I have to give them an A- on offense. They did have over 400 yards of offense. They won the time of possession. They held Kansas City well under its season average for yards per game. And Patrick Mahomes looked uncomfortable a lot in this game. He didn't get outside a lot. He did extend a couple plays, threw a couple ill-advised passes. The defense, they gave up 21. They gave up 305 yards. That's an A. I don't care. That's a great offense. Game. They've literally been blowing out everybody the last 2 or 3 weeks, and we made them work for 21 points. So that's definite. Special teams, Prater clanking that field goal that would have sealed it. I don't know. He's got a little left or right fade. So if he kicks from the hash on the other side and he kind of like fades it into the middle. I don't know if you have a fade on your golf swing, so you know what a fade looks like, a little left to right.
Yeah.
So he has a little left to right fade, and it started off down the middle and came back and hit the post when it was coming down. And I do not like some of our coverage returns. It seems like they get the 30, 35, or 40 every time.
Right.
Whereas we're getting stuck inside the 30 a lot. So
right.
I think we're giving up. There's some hidden yardage that they're getting 5, 6, 7 extra yards on the returns. I don't understand why the other team, because Prater's kicking it down inside the 5. So they're taking it from right at the goal line all the way out to 30, 35, or 40. So I'm hoping that we can shore that up a little bit. It feels like a team is close to breaking one, and we all know every year we give up a return at some point. Yeah. So hopefully it's not a game that really matters. But special teams, I'm giving them a B.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. But one thing I would be remiss if I didn't mention that Josh passed Cam Newton for the most rushing touchdowns in the history of the NFL with 78. Today was his 78th rushing TD, so that was pretty amazing. So next week, though, we've got the Dolphins, and I feel pretty good about our chances.
Dolphins, the last 2 or 3 times, they've been a little pesky, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
They've been a little thorn on our side. Yeah, yep. Last year, our second meeting, we needed Bass to kick a 61-yarder. And then earlier this season, they were driving, and Bernard made that amazing interception to stop the drive, but they were driving to cut the lead. So I don't know if it's just the Dolphins play up or we play down, but we've definitely had their number, Peg, over the last few years. I think you did some research on how much we've handled them.
I did. So we've played them since 1966, twice a year, and the Dolphins have the slight edge on the Bills. 62 wins, 61 losses, 1 tie. Postseason results, though, in the playoffs, we have the edge there. We're 4-1 against the Dolphins.
Wow, that was the Kelly years, too.
Yeah. So, but I think that they're a team that's in disarray. I'm not sure there's a lot of respect. We talk about the Bills community and that family atmosphere. I'm not sure they have that in their organization right now. I know Mike McDaniel is on the hot seat. He's been on the hot seat, but they're committed to him for the rest of the year. I guess it's just like watching a slow train wreck occur, and you just keep watching it. They had trouble with their salary cap, and they fired their GM. They have salary cap issues. They have injury issues. So this is a down year. Sorry, Bob, our brother-in-law. It's been a few down years, and the Bills are on, I think, like a 7-game winning streak right now. I think, if I recall. You'll have to correct me if I'm wrong. Bills Mafia, send us a message.
I can point to the only 2 losses Josh Allen has had against the Dolphins since his rookie year, and they stand out because they were so frustrating is the best word I can come up with. So, Peg, let me take you back to 2018. Josh Allen is running around like a madman, like he was scrambling for like 100 yards a game 2 or 3 times that rookie year. So we have the ball at the end of the game, and he's getting chased around. He throws it up into the end zone. It's a little short to Charles Clay. Remember Charles Clay, Mr.
Yes,
Drop one pass a game. The ball is a little bit underthrown. He doesn't come back to the ball well enough. He drops it or doesn't get back to it in time when we lose the game. That was one clearly that I thought we could have, snuck that one out. That would have been an amazing win that year. The second one was, the second Charles Clay. I think we have a tight end because a tight end drop thing because Dawson Knox was signed or drafted like the year or two after that, and he was good for 1 or 2 drops. It seemed like not every game, but at least every other game. So the second one we lost, I'm just going to say it's the Ken Dorsey breaking the laptop and clipboard game. At the end of the game, we just could get a playoff.
Slamming it.
He's like,
I wish I had the money to do that. I feel like slamming my work computer often.
Yeah, it happened at the end of the first half. He couldn't get a playoff, and then Josh couldn't spike the ball, so he had to throw it to the sideline, and the guy got tackled, and that was the end of the game. So we didn't even able to get a field goal off at that point. So those are the only 2 losses we've had to the Dolphins since 2018, and both of them seem kind of fluky to me. We've technically every year we've had like a close game and a blowout win over them. We had the close game already, so I'm hoping next week will be the blowout. And then they're also dealing with like a coach who got a stay of execution this week. Mm-hmm. So the GM who hired him, obviously we just said Chris Greer got fired. So he has nobody in his back, and backing him at this point and I'm sure the management and ownership is probably going to look at, alternatives because he kind of peaked early. He was like Icarus. He was like too close to the sun. He made the playoffs first year. And of course, that was the year that the Bills made that amazing comeback.
So we're going to take this win and run. And I'm just so happy we got out of it with the win and that we're in a good position to be competitive moving into this last portion of the season. What are there, 7 games left of the season, Pat, or 8?
So we're 6-2. We have a 17-game schedule. So there's a lot of football left, 9 more games.
Yeah, a lot of football left.
We do have a mini bye later in the year. We have another Thursday night game. So that will probably, that'll mitigate some of the long rest of the season. We'll have at least a week and a half mini bye one more time. So 6-2, looking good. Wins are hard in the NFL.
They are. Yeah, they are.
Especially like tonight, I feel like I need to change 3 shirts. I'm sweating through my sweatshirt.
I know. So you're listening to Bill's Bloodline. Please like, subscribe, share, send us an email. Every week we have a tradition that we've started. It's our second time doing a podcast, and here's our tradition: is we want to do a segment where we shout out people who deserve some attention for whatever reason. And Pat, what did you choose this week?
My shout out is to the people that have inspired me to proceed with something I love, like this podcast, and they've been integral to me knowing a little bit more about the game of football that I thought I knew a lot. I don't know a lot. I know a little bit about a lot, but I don't know a lot about a little, or whatever that means. So the people that I've followed, I listen to a lot of podcasts. Peg turned me on to Joe Marino, Locked On Bills. He's just an amazing analyst, a great orator, great pacing. I love him. I love Overreaction Buffalo with Joe Miller. John Fina and Jerry Ostrowski. I love Cover One, especially Greg Thompson and Aaron Quinn. They're actually a news team that does a video podcast, and I love Mike Kenelana, Dan Fates, and Jenna Cottrell. So they do a great job as well. I love hearing all these perspectives. They give me more insight and stuff that I don't think about. So I love what they do.
Shout out this week is Dion'sDreamers.org. It is Dion Dawkins' official foundation. He's a protector of the blind side of Josh Allen, but he's also doing so much in the community in Western New York to raise money to help protect those who are in underserved communities, young men and women. He's drifted his way into my heart. So that's
an inside joke for Bills fans.
Yeah, so you can find out more, again, Dion'sDreamers.org. They also have a Facebook and an Instagram. You can donate, you can follow them and see ways that you can contribute.
Again, our Our contact information, our email, are all be in the show notes today. And if you don't mind, you can give us a follow on Spotify. Heck, anything else?
No, I can't think of anything. Until next week, let's squish the fish.
Yes, from our family to the Bills Mafia, stay loud, stay proud, and let's go Bills.
Go Bills.